once again. So South Africa is, of course, marking Nelson Mandela International Day with an official commemorative program taking place in London in the United Kingdom. The celebrations include the Scatterlings Concert at Trafalgar Square, where South African and international artists alongside distinguished guests are honouring the life, the values and enduring legacy of former President Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, and through music and cultural performances as well. That's where we find SABC News reporter Khayelihle Khumalo live to us from the British capital. Khayelihle, great to see you. I hope you're having a good time out there. But of course, a very important day where the world basically reflects on the legacy of our late elder statesman, honouring his values, looking at his contribution, not only to the freedom of South Africa's people, but the role and the legacy and mark that he left in the hearts of people around the world. That's exactly why you are in the UK, demonstrating how far-reaching his legacy is celebrated around the world.
Well, certainly, Criselda, a very warm welcome to you right here in Trafalgar Square. A very, very significant day, Criselda, especially because when you go back to 2009, this is the day that was declared by the United Nations, the General Assembly, to honour Madiba, to make sure that his legacy is well preserved, to inspire the world. So where we are right now, it's a very, very important landmark, Criselda. When you talk about the global anti-apartheid movement, this is where they staged those demonstrations calling for democratic reforms in South Africa. But also you go back to 1988 when Madiba was still incarcerated, you know, that call for his unconditional release. And also subsequent to those events, he was released in the 90s and he came here right in London in the UK to say thank you to the world for supporting the struggle of South Africa. Obviously the dynamics have changed completely now, and also it's 30 years of South Africa's constitution, and it's bound to be a very riveting day here, Criselda. As you know, that's a very star-studded lineup of South African artists and also their international counterparts will be performing here, showcasing the prowess and beauty of South Africa, especially now, Criselda, in the context of South Africa. But also, when you talk to Team South Africa, a very overriding message is that it's all about selling brand South Africa, to say that South Africa is a loving country and South Africa is a very key partner of the United Kingdom. And there's a very strong delegation from the South African government that is here. You do have the tourism minister, Patricia de Lille, alongside her counterparts from sports, arts and culture, Gayton McKenzie as well. And all of them, they say it's a very important day, really making sure that they rekindle the ties between South Africa and the United Kingdom. So by all accounts, it's going to be a very fascinating day here in London.
Well, Khayelihle, obviously, you know, the sidelines of all the celebrations and the music and pomp, much is to be said about the legacy of our late elder statesman. His contribution, of course, when you talk about the anti-apartheid movement internationally, it's a day of reflection also in terms of, you know, how we've also sought support, you know, in other countries, you know, for the freedom that we enjoy today. So quite a lot will be said about, you know, the significance of that also.
Well, very much so, Criselda, especially, I mean, we've seen a deluge of messages coming from so many world leaders. I mean, we've seen from the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres really talking about the legacy of Madiba, talking about the issues of the eradication of poverty. After all, it was right here in London when Madiba said, it's easy in your hands to make sure that we see concerted efforts being put by the world leaders in tackling tackling some of the pressing challenges that are facing the world. Whether you talk about the conflicts, you look at the current situation right here in Europe, in Ukraine, you talk about the current situation, even right in Africa, whether you talk about the DRC, the very, very dire situation in Sudan. So a very, very pivotal moment in terms of reflections, in terms of really just for the world leaders to pause and say, what are the lessons they can get from Nelson Mandela's legacy? But a very important time for Madiba here in London, Griselda, not far from here at the University of East London, there is an exhibition that is currently underway, really just chronicling the life and times of Madiba, all the way back in 1918, the time he was born, and up until the time when he was the statesman.
Before I let you go, Khayelihle, I wouldn't let you go without asking you, of course, about political developments in the UK with the new Labour leader there. Just talk to us a bit about, those dynamics. You are there. Political shifts that we're seeing, and a lot of the commentary that we saw in the run-up to all of this was about what some have described as some kind of political instability, at Downing Street.
Well, very much so, Griselda. Here, the political tectonic plates have shifted for the Labour Party. As we know that Keir Starmer announced that he's going to resign, so there's a new Labour Party leader now, that is Andy Burnham, and obviously has made a lot of undertaking in terms of tackling the issues that are facing the country, from the economy to the cost of living crisis, but also making a very clear and a very unwavering undertaking that the Labour Party now must really work as a unified force. As you know, that it's quite a very intense time here in the United Kingdom, and also we've seen the outgoing Prime Minister Starmer announcing his resignation. We know that there has been a very enormous pressure from his side within the bench of the Labour Party, and a very, very key ally of South Africa as well, the United Kingdom, Griselda. As you know that whether you're talking about the tourism sector, whether you're talking about the economic ties between the two countries.
Khayelihle, thank you very much indeed. We appreciate your time. Live to us from Trafalgar Square, that is in London, where a massive concert will be taking place today to honour the legacy of Tata Nelson Mandela.